Okay children, now see, images formed in two inclined mirrors. That means if two plane mirrors are inclined at an angle, then where will be the images formed? So suppose that two plane mirrors are inclined at theta degree and this is the object. Then see where will the image form. So children, if two objects are inclined together, if two mirrors are inclined, then the object and images will lie on the circumference of a circle. Listen carefully. If two mirrors are inclined at an angle, then the object and its images will lie on a circumference of a circle whose center is the intersection point of the mirror, and the radius of the circle will be distance between intersection of the mirror and object. The distance between object and intersection of the mirror will be the radius of the circle on which circumference the object and its images will lie. Is this clear? Two mirrors have been kept in this way at angle theta, and this is the object. Then object and images formed by the mirrors will lie on a circle circumference on a circle. On this circumference, object and its images will be formed. Understood? And the center of the circle will be the point where both the mirrors are joining together. And the radius of the circle will be distance of the object and intersection point of the mirror. The distance between object and intersection point of the mirror will be the radius of the circle on which circumference the object and images will lie. Understood? So we have known where will the images form. Now we will see how many images will be formed by the mirrors. So children, learn this property. If theta be the angle between the mirrors and a number n is equal to 360 degree upon theta. If theta is the angle between the mirrors, then from this angle if we divide 360 degree, we will get a number. Suppose the number is n. The number is n when 360 degree is divided by theta. Now by watching the nature of n, we can tell that how many images will be formed. Now see what will be the nature. Suppose the value of n is coming odd. If 360 degree is divided by theta and our answer is coming odd number, then there are two possibilities. First possibility, the number of images will be n. The number of images will be n when object is placed asymmetrically. When the object is placed asymmetrically, then n will be the number of images. But if the object is placed symmetrically, then the number of images will be n minus 1. And what is the n? 360 degrees divided by theta, and we are getting a number which is equal to n. Understood? When 360 degrees is divided by theta, then we will get a number. That number is odd. If the number is odd, then there are two possibilities of the number of images. The number of object will be n if the object is asymmetrical. And number of images will be n minus 1 if the object is symmetrical. Understood? If the object is kept symmetrically between the mirrors, then the number of images will be n minus 1. And if the object is kept asymmetrically here or that side, then the number of images will be n. But in the second case, if 360 degree upon theta is even, if 360 degree upon theta is even, then n minus 1 will be the number of images, no matter that object is kept symmetrically or asymmetrically. If the value of n is even, then the number of images will be equal to n. Either object is kept asymmetrically or symmetrically. See one example I am taking for you. Suppose theta is equal to 40 degree. Suppose the two mirrors are kept at the angle of 40 degree, then we will find the value of n first. N is equal to 360 degree upon 40 degree, that means 9. You can see that 9 is odd. Now 9 is odd, then the number of images will be dependent on the place of the object. If the object is asymmetrically, then this n means 9 will be the number of images. There will be 9 images formed if the object is kept asymmetrically. But if the object is kept symmetrically, then the number of images will be 9 minus 1, that is 8. Is this clear? Now suppose that theta is equal to 12 degree. If theta is equal to 12 degree, then n is equal to 360 upon 12. 360 upon 12 means 30. Now if theta is equal to 12, then n is equal to 360 upon 12. 360 degree upon 12 is equal to 30. N is equal to 30. In this case, either the object are symmetrical or asymmetrical. Either the object is symmetrically placed or asymmetrically placed. In both the cases, the number of images will be 30 minus 1 means 29. The number of images will be 29. Okay, now note down these things. Now we will see image formed in a pair of plane mirrors placed parallel to each other. That means if two plane mirrors are kept parallel to each other. See this one. Suppose in this way, if the two mirrors are kept and the object is placed between them somewhere, then how many images will be formed? So children, for two plane mirrors kept parallel to each other, an infinite number of images are formed for an object kept in between them. That means if the object is kept between two parallel mirrors, then infinite number of images will be formed. See how we have studied this formula for finding the number of images. N is equal to 360 degree upon theta degree, where theta is the inclination between the mirrors, theta is the angle between two mirrors. When mirrors are parallel to each other, then theta will be 0 degree. If theta is 0 degree, then n is equal to 360 upon 0, that means infinite. Is this clear? That means if two plane mirrors are parallel to each other and one object is kept between them, then infinite number of images will be formed. And these are used in the barber shop and in the big showrooms. If you go to barber shop, you can see that one mirror is kept in front and one mirror is kept at the back to show the shop bigger, because multiple images are formed, infinite images are formed, and the small shop also looks a very big shop. Understood? Now see the case when the images formed by two plane mirrors placed perpendicular to each other. That means if two plane mirrors are kept perpendicular to each other. See, suppose this is the one plane mirror and this is the another, and object is kept between them. If two plane mirrors are kept perpendicular to each other, then how many images will be formed? Again use the same formula. We know that n is equal to 360 degree upon theta. If mirrors are perpendicular to each other, then theta will be 90 degree. If mirrors are perpendicular to each other, theta is equal to 90 degree. That means n is equal to 360 upon 90 means n equal to 4. You can say that it is even. If n is even, then number of images will be 4 minus 1, that is 3. Understood? If two plane mirrors are kept perpendicular to each other, then 3 images will be formed. Okay? Now we will see uses of plane mirrors. Now, uses of plane mirrors. The first use, you can see the very common use. It is used as a looking glass in the barber's shop for seeing the hairs at the back of head. These two are the very common use that we see in our daily life. Next is it is also used in periscope. Two parallel plane mirrors are used, each inclined at 45 degree in the periscope. Okay. Similarly, plane mirrors are used in kaleidoscope also. In solar heating devices such as solar cooker and solar water heater, children, in these devices also plane mirrors are used to reflect the sunlight. In the optician rooms also the plane mirrors are used so that the effective length of the room can be increased. It looks a big room if the plane mirrors are used. Now in a showroom also we see the plane mirrors. So children, here your plane mirror topic is completed. Now in the next turn we will start your spherical mirrors. But before that, today we will solve some numericals also. So be ready for the numericals. See the first numerical. State the number of images of an object placed between the two plane mirrors formed in each case when the mirrors are inclined at each other at 60 degree and then 72 degree. So see how to form. See how to find the answer. In the first case, theta is equal to 60 degree. Then find out the value of n. N is equal to 360 degree upon 60 degree. That means n is equal to 6. This is even. And we know that if the value of n is even, then the number of images will be n minus 1. That means 6 minus 1, which is equal to 5. That means in the first case 5 images will be formed. Now see the second case. When theta is equal to 72 degree, therefore n is equal to 360 degree upon 72. That means n is equal to 5. N is equal to 5, which is odd. This is odd. So number of images will be number of images will be 5. That means in this case also the number of images will be 5. Now see the second. An object is placed asymmetrically and symmetrically. Now see the second question. An object is placed first asymmetrically and then symmetrically. That means an object is placed by two ways between the two plane mirrors inclined at angle of 50 degree. Two plane mirrors are inclined at 50 degree and the object is kept first asymmetrically and then the second symmetrically. Then find the number of images formed. Understood the question? See here. An object is placed asymmetrically and then symmetrically between two plane mirrors inclined at an angle of 50 degree, then find the number of images formed. That means two plane mirrors are inclined at 50 degree. This angle is 50 degree, and suppose the object is kept somewhere here. In the first case the object is asymmetrically, in the second case the object is symmetrically. Then how to find the number of images? See children, the first case, when object is kept asymmetrically, in this case theta is equal to 50 degree given, then we can find the value of n, that is 360 upon 50. 360 upon 50 is 7.2. We know that 0.2 image cannot be formed, so we will convert it into whole number. That means n is equal to 7. Now value of n is odd, then number of images will be 7 because the object is kept asymmetrically. The value of n is odd and the object is kept asymmetrically, then value of n will be the number of images. Okay. Now see the second case. If object is kept symmetrically, if the object is kept symmetrically and theta is equal to 50 degree and n is equal to 7. See, we have calculated once n, so in the same question do not need to calculate the same thing again. We can write its value. Since n is odd and object is symmetrically, therefore number of images will be 7 minus 1 means 6. Is this clear? Now note down, we will do some more questions. A ray is inclined on a plane mirror. Its reflected ray is perpendicular to the incident ray. Find the angle of incidence. See what is the question saying? Suppose this is a plane mirror. One ray is inclined at it and its reflected ray. The reflected ray is perpendicular. Perpendicular means 90 degree. The incident ray after reflecting, see this one. This is incident ray. This is reflected ray. And reflected ray is perpendicular to the incident ray, then we have to find the angle of incidence. Children, we know that to find the angle of incidence we have to draw one normal. The angle between incident ray and normal is called the angle of incidence. That angle we have to find. Okay. We know that the angle between reflected ray and normal is called the angle of reflection. And according to the law of reflection, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Both the angles are equal. Children, from the diagram very clearly it is seen that the sum of angle of incidence and angle of reflection is equal to 90 degree. Can you see it? The sum of incidence angle and angle of reflection is equal to 90 degree. Now we can find the angle of incidence. See how? Since angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Okay. Angle I is equal to angle R. Therefore, angle I plus angle R is equal to 90 degree. It is given. since angle I plus angle R equal to 90 degree, so here we can write angle I plus angle I equal to 90 degree, because angle of reflection is equal to angle of incidence. Now 2 times angle I is equal to 90 degree, that means angle I is equal to 45 degree. Is this clear? That means angle of incidence is equal to 45 degree. If you are asked angle of reflection, then angle of reflection is also 45 degree. Okay. Now see the second question. A man is standing in front of a plane mirror, finds his image at a distance 10 meters from himself. See here. Suppose this is the plane mirror. Suppose this is a man. Okay. Then its image will be formed inside the mirror. In the question it is given that the distance between man and his image is 10 meter. Then question is asking what is the distance of man from the mirror. Distance from the mirror means this distance we have to find. We know that in a plane mirror, the distance of object from mirror is equal to the distance of image from the mirror. That means distance of object from the mirror is equal to the distance of image from the mirror. That means according to the question, distance of man from the plane mirror should be 10 meter upon 2. Distance of man from plane mirror should be 10 meter upon 2. That means 5 meter. The distance between man and mirror should be 5 meter. Okay children, today the class is over here. We will meet in the next class with spherical mirrors. Okay, bye bye.